Actually gonna go in the living room. I'm in my aunt's house in California right now. And this is a move that I've wanted to make for a long time, is moving out to Cali. And yeah, it just feels very surreal. So I'm gonna do my normal thing and flip the camera. This helps me stay more present. Oh, yeah, it's been so surreal actually being here. And I felt this inspired energy to come on because I feel like, our world is going through a lot of pretty significant changes right now. Um, that I think a lot of us have kind of learned to like put our head down and just focus on what's in our control, or at least like we've kind of had to, which I think is a really, really, really good thing. But I do think that there's this looming kind of like this awareness that yeah, like this world is changing in a lot of ways, and we're changing too. We're changing with it, and yeah. Let me just take a deep breath. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit in here for a sec. So the energy that what I want to come on and talk about is my yeah, like what I'm really feeling like there's a lot of people um yeah, let me see if I can really find this wavelength. Hmm. Yeah. So what I really feel like is that our, at least in my life personally, my highs have been higher than I have ever felt in my entire life. Like it felt so good. Like this peace that I'm feeling that's so visceral, and this joy and this idealism of like, oh my God, like we live in just this most wonderful, beautiful world. And I'm just so grateful to call it my home. And then on the other side, like there are some days that it's like, I cannot believe how gooey this feels, like how sad and despair and hopeless sometimes. Well, not as much hopeless. Well, sometimes hopeless, yeah. Maybe like anguish is kind of the word that comes to my mind. Like it's like this feeling of trying so hard to hold on to something that it feels like it's just come to pass. And if that's something that you can relate to in your life, that there's this thing that you're trying so hard to hold on to, it could be a location that you live in or that you want to live in. It could be a friendship. It could be a relationship. It could be your idea of something, like the idea of this life that you thought that you wanted that it turns out you don't want anymore. And I think that with all these changes that we're experiencing as humans, like I think we're just being pulled in so many different directions. And I think on a deeper level, sometimes we can be pulled in a direction that is so contrary to what. Look at this dog. She's so cute. Oh yeah, she's so sweet. But I think it's so common for us to be pulled in a direction that is so unfamiliar to what our idea of what we think life should be is. And that's 100% the situation that I found myself in, and these past 3 years, and I've really just been trying to lean in and to trust that, you know, these things that like I'm out here in California right now, taking a leap of faith that this might be where I want to restart my life. Like I want to plant new roots down, which freaks me out. It really, really scares me because, I'd be leaving so many close friends behind. I'd be leaving so many family behind. I've lived in Ohio almost my whole life, but I feel this deeper pull to California. Um, and yeah, I just think like maybe there are some people out there who have been feeling the same thing. And it could be like leaving a job. It could be, yeah, like a relationship that's set sail. And it can be really hard amidst a world that is so, sometimes it feels very chaotic to leave behind what's familiar. But the thing that's tough is that sometimes the thing that's familiar can actually be causing us more anxiety and more stress. And it could actually bring us more ease just to let it go. And that's like a really, really hard thing to say because it's like, does that mean that I just have to, you know, throw myself into the deep end, like plunge into the chaos? And what I found is that no, that doesn't at all mean that I have to do that, that we have to do that. I think even just taking like one step and saying, like, okay, like this relationship that I feel like I am a part of that's tiring me out. Maybe I don't have to like throw the relationship out completely. Maybe I could talk about things that have been upsetting me, or I could look at the dynamic for what it is, or I could ask someone objective, like an objective third party, like who wouldn't try to choose sides, like what they think of dynamic. It could be with a parent, it could be with a romantic partner. And then the same thing with me moving. I was thinking about just dropping everything and moving out here, but I decided that I would just visit for a week and see if it's a place that I could see myself at home. So, so yeah, and I think that it's hard to understand sometimes for me why these things that we used to do that brought us so much ease, like why don't they feel like ease anymore? And if they don't feel like ease, why do we continue to do them? Like why do we continue to go back to the same habits, same behaviors, same relationships if ultimately it doesn't fulfill us, if it doesn't bring us ease? And I think it's important to acknowledge like both sides of this, that that it doesn't bring us as much ease as it used to. It doesn't bring us as much peace as it used to. Um, and that also maybe it's a good thing that that it doesn't. Like maybe it's okay that it doesn't bring us as much ease. Maybe it's that our soul, our innermost being, is calling us to experience something new that would be so much more fulfilling. And then honoring the other side of that, which is like, this is something that used to bring me so much peace, and that's why it's hard to let go of. Or this is something that has brought me so much comfort. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be comfortable, especially again amidst a world that can be very confusing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Unless there are anyone who has any questions, I'm gonna flip around the camera now. Um, I like just talking and not worrying about who's listening. So, why does it look like it hurts to smile? I don't know. I actually saw a picture of myself recently, and I thought it kind of looked like my smile was being forced. So, it's actually kind of funny that you bring that up. Yeah, I think sometimes I could be a little bit better just allowing myself to be upset. So, yo, what's good, bro? You're so tough. Oh, yeah, man. Just my boy up in here spitting facts. Um, yeah, but no offense, bro. I have a downward smile. Oh, you're talking about yourself. I thought you were talking about me. Well, yeah, man. I think smiling is not about how you look when you smile. It's about just expressing that you feel joy. So, yeah. And if you're around people who don't understand that, man, then they can screw off because you got to be balling out. Um, yeah. What am I doing? I like to come on YouTube Live and when I'm feeling inspired and just talk about my thoughts because it helps me to process what I'm experiencing. And I also think that and hope that it can help other people if they're going through a similar thing. So, yeah. Yeah, I really do think that one of the coolest parts about being a human is that it can be so healing for us to share, for us to express. So, all right, if there's no more questions, I think I'm going to end it there, guys. That's my cousin Porter up there. What a legend. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and yeah, just remember that it can be okay to take steps into the unknown, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to take some leaps of faith.